The Marvel Universe, otherwise known as the MCU, is one of the most well-known movies franchises in the world. It has a large following of fans all over the world who are continuously speculating about future films. Many fans have also pointed out flaws committed by the filmmakers in MCU films that one could have overlooked the first time around. Stick around to find out everything you need to know about the best Marvel bloopers you may have missed. Tony's scar in The Avengers. The first blooper we have for you today comes from the famous Avengers. Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark/Iron Man has a scar on his eyebrow when he devises a strategy to divert the approaching missile towards the open space vortex. He then launches the missile into the air, where it collides with the alien base, effectively ending the fight in New York. Iron Man is unable to maintain his composure and falls rapidly until Hulk catches him and places him on the ground. There's no scar on Tony's face when he regains consciousness, and the mask is removed from his armor. The huge cut on his brow vanishes all of a sudden. This was probably missed by most, but those dedicated fans definitely didn't miss it. Spider-Man No Way Home blooper. Everyone is or was talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, and it's already shattered box office records while receiving insanely positive reviews from both reviewers and the audience. Tom Holland's third Spider-Man movie impressed audiences with massive crowd-pleasing scenes that some have compared to even Marvel's largest blockbuster, Avengers Endgame. Marvel Studios' Avengers Endgame was the culmination of decades of work, bringing together all of Earth's greatest heroes all together on one screen. Fans and viewers had eagerly awaited over a year to see what was gonna happen to their favorite MCU characters after the painful cliffhanger of Avengers Infinity War, which ended in an epic and emotional reunion scene that had audiences cheering in theaters around the world. Tom Holland detailed how he botched up a take of Avengers Endgame's greatest scene in an interview for Spider-Man No Way Home with Rotten Tomatoes. The instruction during the Avengers' last battle with Thanos, according to Holland, demanded everyone to charge on cue as soon as Chris Evans uttered "Avengers Unite." Holland, on the other hand, managed to sabotage a take by not hearing Chris properly and came charging in way too soon, forcing him to go back to all of his childhood heroes in disgrace. Not his finest moment. Captain America's broken shield. Next up, we have the broken shield from Captain America. With its climax scene, Avengers Endgame featured one of the best MCU conflicts. With so many people and equipment to consider, the producers committed a blunder with Steve Rogers' vibranium shield. Cap's shield was shattered by Thanos before Doctor Strange opened the gateway and let the Avengers in. However, as everyone comes, his shield is seen fully recovered in a wide-angle image. Guardians of the Galaxy game blooper reel. A blooper reel from Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy illustrates the sci-fi team's chemistry as well as some of the game's most memorable moments. A blooper film from Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy development gives fans a behind-the-scenes look at the recording process and shows us some of the game's most hilarious moments. Players take control of Peter Quill, the cosmic outlaw better known as Star-Lord, in this refreshingly released sci-fi superhero game. As he leads the outer space outlaws on an epic adventure, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy has several Easter eggs that help to both reference other Marvel characters and provide further complexity to the game's tale, delivering an emotional narrative that is loyal to the team's comic book origins. A blooper film for Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy was recently shared on Twitter, giving fans an up-close look at the game's characters and highlighting some humorous moments. While performing voice work for Peter Quill, Drax, Gamora, and Rocket in the game, John McLaren, Jason Cavalier, Kimberly Sue Murray, and Alex Weiner display remarkable chemistry. Many of the game's gags and comedic situations have the entire cast chuckling, indicating how successfully Eidos Montreal captured the dynamic and tone of the sci-fi superhero squad. Many of Rocket's more dark moments of humor, such as jokes about Peter Quill's mother and Drax's daughter, appear to resonate particularly well with the voice actors. Gamers were pleasantly surprised when Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy managed to provide a wonderfully humorous and heartfelt version of Marvel's famed losers. The popularity of the game has sparked conjecture regarding the plot of Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy 2, should Eidos Montreal decide to make a sequel. While the story is self-contained, it does mention a number of well-known Marvel characters that do not appear in the film, including Nebula, Yondu, and Nova. Thanos' survival is also hinted at throughout the game's plot, implying that he could return as a villain in the future. The Guardians' adoption of Nikki and her newfound superpowers could also play a role in future Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy sequel. Janet Van Dyne's age. After 5 years in the quantum realm, Scott Lang brings up the concept of time travel. When he returns to the real world, though, there isn't much of a change in his age, whereas his daughter is well into adulthood. Lang even tells Steve Rogers and Natasha Romanoff that the 5 years they spent in the real world only seemed like 5 hours. If that's the case, Janet Van Dyne, Hank Pym's wife, should appear much younger than she did in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Janet was no doubt trapped in the quantum realm for about 15 years before returning to the regular world. Janet appears to be the same age as her spouse when she is rescued. If 5 years were to feel like 5 hours to Scott, then Janet should have only missed a few hours or days. Avengers gag reel. The Avengers franchise has a lot of funny moments peppered throughout the movies, but none of them compare to one blooper reel. When you have as many intricate narrative aspects and props to handle as the gag reel does, it's hardly surprising that humor erupts when things go wrong. Gwyneth Paltrow and Robert Downey Jr. cracking up during a supposed romantic scene between Pepper Potts and Tony Stark, Chris Evans as Captain America, smiling and smirking at the camera and flashing multiple thumbs up while in costume, and Chris Hemsworth struggling to catch Thor's famous hammer are just very few of the memorable moments. The scenes that had to be done not just once, but several times are maybe the best portion of the reel. For example, Tom Hiddleston as Loki cracking up 4 or 5 times in a succession while supposed to be laying still, and Chris Evans attempting to put on some sort of harness. Deadpool gag reel. One of the fascinating aspects of gag reels is that they might reveal a little about how a film was made in various ways. The blooper film included with the home release of the 2016 Deadpool, for example, reveals that the performers were encouraged to go off script. The humor reel in Deadpool has a slew of wholly improvised lines, particularly from Ryan Reynolds and TJ Miller. Reynolds' improv includes a long list of digs at Angel Dust's Gina Carano, Chris Angel, Mind Freak, musician Busta Rhymes, Hercules, the legendary Journeys actor Kevin Sorbo, and Motley Crue co-founder Nikki Sixx are among the people he compares her to. Carano is so irritated by the remark that makes it into the theatrical release, "You're going to leave me all alone here with less angry Rosie O'Donnell?" Following the line, the reel shows her actually punching Reynolds in the face as a result. What an improv scene. Black Widow funny blooper reel. The Black Widow blooper reel is the gift that keeps on giving, as Marvel fans look forward to the future of the MCU, combining Johansson, Pugh, Rachel Weisz, and David Harbour in a wonderful reel of chuckles and funny expressions. Marvel Studios released the 2.5-minute blooper film a few weeks ago, and it has since been shared by numerous users all over the internet. Dreykov cracks a grin at the collage of forgotten lines, stunts gone awry, and dancing in between takes. Weiss's frightened reaction to helicopter lighting appearing overhead, the cast's effort to speak scientific jargon, and Pugh's "Did I do it?" line are just a few of the hilarious highlights. "Did I save the world?" asks the character. Blooper clips from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, particularly those from the Avengers flicks, have always been a sight for fans. The reel does an excellent job of portraying the performers' on-set camaraderie, which epitomizes the concept of combining work and pleasure. With the new additions of Pugh, Weisz, and Harbour, the Black Widow cast shares the same passion, and Johansson's good humor is the icing on top of the black and red cake. Chris Evans' blooper that made the cut. This one is definitely a blooper that instead made the final cut, and we understand why. Isn't it true that we all have our moments of weakness? When Haley Atwell saw Chris Evans' sculpted figure, she evidently had one of those moments. The performers had to film a sequence in which Peggy first sees Captain America all jacked up, without a shirt on, and can't stop herself from reaching out and feeling his pecs. Is it possible to blame her? Certainly not. Did it help to improve the situation? Yes, 1,000 times. And there you have it. Everything you need to know about Marvel and some of the most entertaining and surprising bloopers you probably had no idea about. Make sure to let us know your thoughts down below. Which one of these made you laugh the most? Which surprised you the most? Let us know. But if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.